My name is Holly, and I'm with the Archive and History Center, and today we're visiting Verona, Kentucky. Verona is 27 miles south of Cincinnati, established in the 1850s, and was home to Revolutionary War soldier George Vest. Vest was born in Virginia in 1760 and served in the Revolutionary War from 1776 to 1778. It was sometime in the 1800s that George made his way to Kentucky. George Vest married Nancy O'Neill in 1829. In 1839, he and Nancy started building a home on the property we're at today. The house you see behind me was finished in 1842. Sadly, George was only able to enjoy the house for a short time as he passed away in 1845. In 2000, the house was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. It now sits on the property of the Verona Vineyards and is well cared for by the Montgomery family.
This property was originally 600 acres, deeded to George Vest as part of a Revolutionary War grant.
What kind of preservation work have you done on the house?
We literally took everything, bricks apart, redid the flooring, we redid everything underneath. We've rebuilt the walls, we've rebuilt the fireplaces. We really were focused on bringing it back as close as we could to its original look and feel. When we think about the time and effort, it took us a good 15 years to get it to where we felt like it was presentable and represented the historical nature of the property. Probably 90% of what is in here is the original stuff.
We had to clean it, do a lot of cleaning to it to get it back to the beauty that it is.
When did you establish the vineyard and why did you choose this location?
They bought this property in '91. My sister and I went to a wine tasting at the Barringer Crawford Museum and they had a lot of Kentucky wines. I went home that night and I said, "Hey Dan, did you know you could grow grapes in Kentucky and make a really good wine?" And that was the extent of my conversation. 6 months later, he said, "Hey, I ordered us 2,500 grapevines to plant at your dad's farm." And I was like, that seems like a lot.
Kentucky was at one point the largest grape growing state in the US. Kentucky has a rich history in grapes and in winemaking. In that, going out and buying a bunch of vines, we also hired a consultant to really help us really understand how to lay out the vineyard. And the intent was we never wanted to make wine, right? We were going to farm and sell the grapes to other wineries in the area. Our consultant gave us a contract to buy our first crop. 2004, we started to cultivate the ground. 2005, we planted 2,500 vines. And it takes 3 years to get a harvest. 2006, 2007 was just a lot of pruning and trying to figure out what we were doing. In 2008, remember that spring, we were excited that that was going to be the year of our harvest. We're so focused on getting the pruning done, started March, April, May comes along. And it dawned on me we hadn't heard from our consultant. So I sent him a message and a couple weeks went by and I got an email back from him and he had been deployed as part of the Kentucky National Guard. He said, "Hey, I can't buy the grapes." This time of the year, most wineries had their contracts for grapes. And so we looked at each other and said, well, I guess we're gonna have to figure out how to make wine. We harvested the grapes. We had no equipment. We did have a little, cider press that we used. And I think in total, we maybe made 200 gallons of wine. We pumped it into stainless steel tanks and we carried it down to the root cellar, which stays at a nice 55 degrees. And we did that late fall and we just left it in there until spring. And I remember we went down in March and we pulled them out, and so now it's time to taste this. And so we each had glasses, and we pulled. I think we did the Chardonnay first.
We did, because my dad likes the Chardonnay, and I like the Cab Franc, so we were kind of his taste testers. And
my thing was, as the winemaker, I just wanted it to look like wine. And I remember tasting it. I was like, huh. So I tasted it again, and we all looked at each other and was like, wow, this is pretty good. So then we tasted the Cabernet Franc, same experience, and we said, well, I guess we're in the winemaking business. Charlie and Rose had just finished building that nice big barn, set up the wine room and got licensed, and that became the tasting room and bistro.
What's a moment you're most proud of?
The surprise proud moment was when our phones started blowing up in messages, and so we turn on the TV. So we turn on the TV, and the broadcasters for ESPN were holding up bottles of our wine at Rep Arena at a Kentucky basketball game. saying that if you want a really good wine from Kentucky, sneaky good wine from Kentucky, try Verona Vineyards. And just, having that, 60-second moment of being recognized, that was a huge moment for us. We're kind of like the accidental vintners. Planted the vines in 2005. So 20 years of growing grapes. 2011, we're approaching 15 years next year of selling wine. I think the things that stand out to me the most, the people.
The friends and family that have been with us on this entire journey, we could not do this. We could not do what we do without the village that we have. And we're so grateful for that.
When you think about your legacy and how you want to be remembered, people talk about the property and the horses and the house, but it's really the memories and the friendship and that community that's important and makes us the most proud.
If you'd like to learn more about the Vest family or the property we're on today, come visit us at the Archive and History Center at the Boone County Public Library.